I'm a bit late on the Inside Out train, and that's because till now, this movie is not showing in any theater in my region, and it doesn't even look like that's gonna change anytime soon. And also, as I thought this movie did not even need my help, as it has already made $1 billion 19 days since its premiere, and my sister has been disturbing me to make a review for it, so I caved in and I watched it with a couple slot ads. If you know, you know. And as someone that didn't even like the first movie, I think as well as Coco, those are like two of the most overrated Pixar films. Still didn't like the first Inside Out film on a rewatch, and I'm very sure it's not an age thing. I think the sequel is fantastic though. And as much as people hate sequels for existing and Hollywood is losing ideas and playing it safe, I stand with this one. Firstly, I think the main reason why I hated that first film was because of Joy. She is so unbearable in that film, and here she gets put in her place for a substantial amount of it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna root for this anxiety character. And what the film got right was his ability to slowly see the point of Joy, because don't think since you just threw her out there, that doesn't just immediately make me to start to feel for her and root for her. She still goes through her own development as a character, which was something the first film had, but I still felt that she was the same there. Whereas on the sequel, she literally snapped and fully accepted she needed the help of the other emotions, not even just for Riley, but also for herself. Whereas the original film, she learned that, but she ended up still being the boss of everybody. And here she learns that and accepts it, and when she finally gets to be on that console, that Riley needs her, it feels earned. It feels like she deserved it. It feels like I watched her finally find herself and gain that right to be the prime emotion for Riley, and not just existing to be Riley's Joy. And as for the characters, I know I just said I like Joy finally on here, and Sadness was also a character I loved. She was probably the only one I could tolerate in that first film. She was misunderstood, thanks to Joy being the bad guy. We got introduced to a bunch of new characters, majority of them actually adding nothing to the film, which is fair enough, but the one integral to the story was Anxiety, and I loved her, and part of that was mainly because of the entrance she had and the overall swagger that she brought on to start putting Joy down and taking control of Riley, and it making logical sense what she's trying to do and how she's trying to help Riley at first, and it slowly gets to be spiraling out of control and leading to Riley getting these anxiety attacks, not really being herself. So Anxiety's development paired with Joy's as well, just a satisfying way to get to that resolution at the end, just doing what is best for Riley and all of them just embracing. And as for Riley, it was good to see her grow from who was a kid to now a preteen, I think. I don't know. And I'm going to touch on this character aging conversation a bit too, but first, I enjoyed we saw more of her life compared to that first film. It's something that sways me more on this second film. Even though it goes somewhat of that mean girl route, I did wish we got to see more of her with her original friends. Like, she just shuts them off completely, and I know that's part of the story, but her friends do the same thing to her. And it was a bit weird, the friendship hiatus was never brought up, only during periods that they will magically appear when Riley's hanging out with these high schoolers that she's trying to make her friend. I think they could have handled that entire situation better to like implement both of them in a way that we could have explored Riley's relationship and her trying to change to be this cool kid for these high schoolers. And seeing the emotions in other people was always fun to see. It's something I loved in that first film, and they made it better in this film. Now there are moments where we see like metaphors, at least that's what my friend described it to me as. But the moments when she's with her friends in the car and she can tell she's lying, it reminds me of that Tech Night thing from Gen V. And her dad never changes, and I love it. Overall, I loved Inside Out 2, and I'm really surprised it's doing well. Like, I'm not surprised it's doing well, but I'm just surprised as to how fast. $1 billion in 19 days, that's crazy. I'm happy for it. I'm happy people showed up for it. Thank you for watching this video. Bye.